right, we are live with the 79th episode of the
Let's Go podcast. We're back and better than ever. Episode 79. We're 21 away from 100. What are we going to do for our 100th episode, Dave? Any ideas?
I don't know, maybe Joey has some ideas. Joey is an ideas man. Avi, why don't you give him an introduction while I get this set up on the YouTube?
Yeah, I was getting to it. I got distracted. We are here live with the legendary, the famous, the HSL advisor, Joey Katz, in the building. Joey, what makes Joey special is that Joey will say things how it is, and he doesn't care about the response, which is very, it's not common in the sports world. Joey's one of the nicest people around, but at the same time, he is very open to letting people know how he feels about certain situations within sports. So we appreciate that, especially at the HSL. We're very open to that. Joey's on a softball team right now. It's probably the most enigmatic, if that's the right word, the most a up and down, all over the place team right now. They win games by 10 runs. They lose games by 10 runs. They're all over the map. So it's going to be a lot to unpack here. A very confusing team, especially when doing the power rankings. Where to put them? Do you put them up 3 or down at 7? A lot going on, and we're very happy to have Joey on to discuss as we, really are more than halfway done the season, which is absolutely phenomenal in my opinion. A couple guys in Muncie last time are making fun of me, but in my opinion, it's great. It's awesome, and here we go.
All right, sadly, it doesn't look like I'll be able to figure out the YouTube thing in time. After 30 minutes of technical difficulties, a couple more won't hurt. So, Joey, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can't complain. Avi, that was nicer than my mother's ever said anything to me. That was honestly.
Listen, I just speak the truth. Sometimes when I introduce people, I tell them how much of a big of a jerk they are and how I just don't get along with them or like them. But Joey,
sometimes
nice
I get
guy.
that when I'm introduced also.
I guess I never had that experience with you. Not yet, maybe not yet.
Not yet. I'm not going to go into the topic of saying keep not letting us switch games, maybe I'll be a jerk.
Yeah. Which, by the way, man, Dave, I would like for you to start things up. We have limited time, but you guys owe a big, and we'll get into this. You guys owe a big thank you to Essen and Donnie Mazeroski for moving that game for yours truly, Joey Katz's Vart, which, by the way, big mazel tov to Joey. Joey is a chazan, and big mazel tov, which you guys took advantage of and beat them in 3 inches of mud, apparently. I spoke to Donnie about it for a while right after Pesach, and he was telling me how if the game was on regular dirt, it wouldn't have been close, and he would have destroyed you guys. So we'll get into that. Should be a lot of fun. Anyways, Dave, let's get started here with the program.
All right, enough screwing around. Time to talk to Joey. So I got to know Joey a little bit last year. You guys beat us in the playoffs, right?
We beat you every time we played you.
It's such a shame that I can't get this live on YouTube because I'm sure that the trolling would be level 5, tier 5 trolling going on right now. But
it's very simple, Dave. A lot of YouTube's right on top of the thing. Just press it and it goes.
I pressed it and I don't know what to do. I can't share the link. I don't know, Avi.
We're all not technologically advanced. It's okay.
Anyway, so I got to know Joey a little bit last year. They beat us every time. Although I think, didn't you not start pitching until the middle of the season, or you pitched the whole summer season?
I started pitching in the middle of basically we were playing the Robins, and obviously that's always fun. And Ariel got the best of us, and in the 6th inning, I was like, all right, let me just pitch. I'll save an arm. Ended up working out, and then against the addictive ad Jake Burns, I pitched solidly enough. Then came Avi Edelman's, I forgot whatever that team was called.
They got the best of you, and therefore Donnie Scheinman was demoted?
No, he wasn't demoted. We had a doubleheader that game, and Donnie was good at pitch. Donnie was actually, I think, leaving for the second game. So we were like, all right, well, let's just put somebody in. Let's see whatever happens. And it ended up working out. And then from there, it's history. Like I said, we played Avi's team the game before the playoffs in the summer, I believe. We beat them.
We got rocked. I was shocked. That was one of the biggest shockers I had. I wasn't expecting that.
So we had that, and then we played you in the first round in that 10-inning game, 2-1 game, where Moskovich went 0 for 5. Some people forget that stat. I think the middle of the lineup went 2 for 20.
And then our first baseman, I don't know if you remember, Donnie or one of the Scheinmans got a base hit to win the game. I think Donnie.
Yitzy up the middle.
Yitzy. Oh yeah, I remember between second and third.
It
But
made the highlight reel. It made the HSL highlight reel, if I'm not mistaken.
oh
It was
yeah,
One
the
of the
first
highlight
time
reels.
Avi was at our game.
but
Yeah, yeah.
but but in that game, in that inning, I don't know if you recall, our first baseman dropped the ball. Do you remember that?
I do.
It was pretty brutal. So you emerged. So you emerged in the middle of the season last year as the number one. Really, you're now the number one Grasshoppers pitcher.
I mean, yeah, but I don't do anything special. My fastball's my changeup, and my changeup's my fastball.
Got it. Got it. Oh, that's funny. So, how long had you been pitching in softball prior to this?
So prior to this, the last time I pitched was in Mosheva at Yom Nate Intercamps to beat Seneca. That was my highlight, and that was the last
Seneca.
time I
Seneca,
pitched. So I was 10.
currently owned by HSL Hall of Famer Glenn Zuckerman. Did you know that?
I did not, but I was retired for
One
a
second,
while.
Joey. So your EFIS pitch defeated Camp Seneca. That's very interesting. I'm going to make sure Glenn is well aware.
I'll be
Yeah, I was
honest,
gonna
Dave.
say the
When I was
title.
10, my EFIS pitch was a softball. It turned into an EFIS after I turned 10 and stayed the same speed.
I was gonna say, Dave, if you want all the Hall of Favorites to tune, all you gotta say is watch Joey Katz talk about how he dominated Glenn Seneca. That'd be a great tagline right there. It'll get them all into watching it.
That's when I knew my softball career was just blossoming.
Got it. And then you didn't pitch for another 20 years?
No, I mean I played baseball in high school. I pitched in high school, but for softball, no.
Baseball.
Yes.
Different
Yes.
sport.
Different sport. And then I moved over to second base because that's also what I played in high school. Stayed with it. And Donnie Shaman, however, one's Yitzi Shaman, one's Donnie Shaman. They're not actually brothers.
It's actually Yitzi Scheinman and Danny Shainman.
Oh yeah, they're not even related. But he's not even really a pitcher. He was just doing it for the good of the team. I could say that I only joined the Rumble Ponies a couple of years ago, but the direction Donnie's taken, shout out to him, has really took us to the next level, and he's willing to do anything. And he's like, you know what, let's try it out. And I'll be honest, the first couple of games, I was like, all right, these guys just aren't expecting slow pitches, and eventually someone's gonna crank one 500 feet. But it hasn't happened yet.
Do you have any specific...
It still boggles my mind. Every day, by the way. I see you pitching out live sometimes. Like, I just don't understand. I mean, listen, credit goes to you, and I don't know. It just, like, you mow down lineups, and it just... Also, a lot of times, Joe, you'll fall behind 3-0, and you'll come over with the same pitch again and again. You'll manage not to walk guys, get guys to pop out, get guys to make weak contact with an EFIS pitch, and you're throwing... It's not like you're changing speeds. You're throwing the same pitch, the same EFIS every single time.
No, I told, like I said, the goal is, at the end of the day,
he has a changeup, which is his fastball.
In the end of the day, I don't care if they hit the ball. The game of softball is to allow your fielders to make the play, not walk people. So, I'm confident. We have Jojo Reich in left field, phenomenal left fielder. Sammy Melman, Yitzi, and Aaron Warsaw, the phenomenal outfield, and I trust them to get the ball. This season's been a little rocky. We haven't had the full team yet, but I did say that we were gonna beat the Hungry Hippos pretty seamlessly, and I think we were correct about that.
Do you think you guys are on the same level as Addictive Ads?
That is, Jake Byrne, you're a great guy, but that's hurtful.
So you guys lost to Addictive Ads. We won't dig too much into that. But you did lose to Addictive Ads. Are you playing them again?
No, we're not, Avi. We're not. We only played them once. That was that was crazy. Somehow we only played them once with 4 guys on our team, but just how the schedule falls out, I guess.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Yep, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and then in this case, we whatever. The game's under appeal.
So what's your record right now? Your record's 2-3.
We're 2-3.
And you beat Essen, which is huge for you guys because you're playing them again. Even if you were to lose to them, you could still get the tiebreaker from run differential. So
I don't think. Listen, I love all those guys. All those guys on that team are very close friends of mine. I don't think we would lose to them again. I just don't.
You think you play us the next time in good weather, no puddles, no mud?
I mean, we were up 10-4 going into the last inning, and obviously, like I told Dave, I told Avi this earlier, maybe before Pesach. I said our team plays to the level of our competition. It can be very frustrating sometimes. If we're playing the worst team, we'll play our worst games. If we're playing the best team, we'll play our best games.
So you think you
we could
play
beat
up?
anyone,
You
we
think
could
you
lose to
play
anyone.
up to the black? You think you play up to the Black Sox? Oh, sorry, Joe. I missed your last sentence there.
Oh no, I was saying we could beat anyone and we could lose to anyone.
Got it. So do you think you play up to the Black Sox?
I think that besides the Robins, the Black Sox are the most annoying team to play because every year they're just always solid and good, and it's just very very annoying. I don't know if Rada has like a Rolodex of 80 guys that he just calls for one. I don't know what it is, but
Exactly what it
the
is.
Black Sox are just a fundamentally sound team.
Wow, it's very good praise. No, Rada's an amazing captain. He builds. He's really
Even
good.
better first base coach.
That's why I was trying to remember with our conversations with our Hall of Famers. I was trying to vouch for, to be able to put, captains or coaches, however you want to call it, into the Hall of Fame as well. I feel like Rada would fit that spot. Year after year, he builds championship teams wherever he goes, not just in the HSL, but also in the Night League. Just brings championship teams everywhere. It's not
his
that
Night
easy
League
to
team
do.
is always phenomenal.
Yeah, all over.
Yeah, he does a great job. So, Joey, I got to know you playing softball a little bit last year, but then you took on another role in the HSL. You really have four roles in the HSL. Role number 2 was assistant to the assistant scorekeeper, right? Shomo Zano.
Correct. That was Dwight Schrute.
You were the
I'm Dwight Schrute.
But you obviously had a lot, of experience watching the HSL basketball. How was that experience for you? You certainly livened things up a lot.
Listen, I can say I'm not a dull person. Sometimes my Adderall tames me down a little. I'm a poster child for Adderall as well. Very proud of that.
Are you on Adderall?
Oh heck yeah! I've been on Adderall since 3rd grade.
Do you feel that it helps you?
I mean, I don't know life without it. I'm too scared at this point.
You're poking
As
the
a
brain
therapist, maybe we'll have a conversation.
I was gonna say.
I don't know if it's.
I was gonna say you're poking the brain of a therapist right now.
You should know, by the way, it's a lot of my patients nowadays indicate that they have ADHD, and it's really exploded. You said in 3rd grade, sure, that's going back a long time, but like nowadays, it's more and more and more people are diagnosed with it. Where it's like more than half my practice is carrying a diagnosis of ADHD. When I was in graduate school, I graduated 7-8 years ago. Like we barely talked about ADHD, like barely. And now it's such a problem.
I remember in 3rd grade, I had a traffic light on my desk. If at the end of the day I finished in red, I got a call home. If it was in yellow, nothing happened. And if it finished on green, I got a prize. I didn't get green the entire year.
What school were you in?
Mariah.
Okay, that's really quite funny.
I was similar. I also have ADHD. I had like those bouncy, those bouncy seats with like those blue bouncy seats. You sit in it. So I had that in class to be able to bounce. But then my teacher got distracted, so instead they let me do stairs. Where for like fifth and sixth and 7th grade, before I started taking medicine in 8th grade, I would go out every 20 minutes for 3 minutes and do 5 laps up and down the stairs. So like literally every 20 minutes, I'd be walking in and out of class, running up and down stairs, sweating and coming back to get my energy out. It was very intense.
Wow, I should have gone to your school.
How is it so obvious to you that Avi has ADHD? He said he has it, and you're like, like.
I mean, I think Helen Keller would be obvious.
Joey sees me also now that he's doing the scorekeeping. He sees me a lot at night by basketball when like really really kicks in a lot, where I just like I'm all over the place. So like now he sees
15 times.
Do you think somebody with ADHD can spot somebody with ADHD more quickly than somebody without it?
Yeah, we're a community. We're a brotherhood.
That's right. Always says that word. Nachi Felt is always into our community for ADHD.
Joey. So let's get a little controversial for a minute. Like, of all the people we know in HSL, we have a lot of mutually overlapping contacts. Who would you say would be like, that guy? Who?
Has ADHD?
Yeah.
Adam Bromberg, easily.
Okay, but
I love you, Adam.
He's pretty public with it. You didn't know that Adam has ADHD? That's so funny. He's very into it.
I know. What do you mean? I like telepathy. I was able to tell right away. It speaks.
What is it
when
that
I see him.
What is it that he's doing that he has it?
Talking to people all the time, a little all over the place. Like, I can appreciate it. I can tell you, somebody who definitely doesn't is Donnie Shyman. He's like very type A. Let's go. Yitzy also. Yitzy not even. Trying to think. I don't know. I mean,
a sign of ADHD, at least from my life, and Dave, you probably know this also from being a therapist, and it is when when you have ADHD, your brain's constantly moving and going from one thing to the next. So you'll have like 11 things going on at once in your brain, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing because you get very overwhelmed, very anxious very easily. It's a good thing because when you're on, you just get boom, boom, boom. You knock out 20 things in like an hour because your brain just does not stop moving. Which is also why, like, if you're sitting down straight, you just can't because your brain's constantly moving. You're here, you're there, you're there, you're here. So it can overwhelm you, but could also really, really get. And what I think the medicine does, at least for me, is it sort of slows you down a little bit into where you're able to focus on, one thing at a time and use the energy you have to actually accomplish the 30 things on your mind instead of just having it like, get you anxious and get you overwhelmed and stuff like that.
I'll be
From my
honest, pitching for
experience.
me is a good because I'm doing something all the time as opposed to playing the field where I'm sitting there. I'm playing tic tac toe in the sand.
Yeah, 100%.
Who else? Who else? Who else, Joey? Who else has ADHD?
Let's see, Jake Byrne.
Okay,
That's a good
Jake
one.
Byrne.
By the way, again, perfect example. I don't know if he does or not, but he's all over the place in a good way. Like he's constantly going to the new thing, looking for new. You just go and go and go. His motor is
Oh,
running
there's a
all the time.
guy on. I think maybe it's the Hungry Hippos or MS. He's from Toronto, plays left field. The dude's, oh my god, it's like the guy's all over the place.
I think I know who you're talking about. I think it gives to our tourism's WhatsApp status. I'm not sure if that's the same
sure.
person.
I unfortunately am not subscribed to those.
No, Shua Blackman. I think it's Shua Blackman.
Yes, that guy. Yeah, that guy. Woo.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're a community. We all love each other.
Guys are
everyone else has
A-League over there. A-League.
What was that?
What happened?
A-League?
He's A-League territory at that point.
A-League territory.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So, what did you think of the HSL basketball league?
I thought it was phenomenal. Obviously, I think that I know Olam and Benjamin Roberts and I forget their manager, quote unquote's name or whatever it is, but
Nathaniel Kvittel,
Nathaniel, great guy. I personally do think though Link was significantly better. I just happen to think the end of the day, they're just all around good. And even if their top player is not on, they have a second option, a third option, a fourth option. My guys, Gordon and companies, Jeremy, Zalman, we made the playoffs this year. We did. It was a big step, Prior to last year, they won one game. This was 2. Next year, 3. Heck, in 4 years, they might go undefeated. You never know. At this rate, we're building up. I definitely think, Jonathan Baez added a flavor and a personality to the HSL.
By the way, we're excited. We're excited to start our basketball clinic next week with Jonathan Baez. We have 20 boys signed up.
That was for some good hawk. It made for some fiery competition, literally. And, I definitely think the outreach and the multitude of players coming in that aren't just from Queens, it shows how far HSL has grown, to be honest.
It's very sweet. With your help, with your so that leads into Joey's third role as corporate sponsor procurer. Crown Healthcare has sponsored a whole bunch of HSL stuff, including
Avi, right
you
after
brought it. You brought the baggage. You brought it. You brought the merch. You brought the merch.
Don't forget that on Sunday, please.
Yeah, I have 3 for Joey.
Thank you.
Bags. So we appreciate that very much, Joey. And then Joey's also just an HSL consultant, always available to pick his brain. So what are the areas that the HSL needs to grow in?
We need to do more merch, like the No Respect Tour T-shirts, stuff like that.
1 second. Speaking
Did Avi produce them?
No, but I got something else.
It's good for sure. I'm for sure not gonna like it nearly as much.
The HSL Men's Softball League is getting their first merch of the season. Woo! We got our sport bottles here. Every men's player will receive one. We got HSL.
It's a good thing we're halfway through the season.
King Ventures, Town Appliance, Smash House.
Well, Joey, for the first half of the season, you didn't need water. You just needed to stay warm.
No, we needed a can of Gooses, to be honest.
So now we got. Look at the gorgeous logos: Town Appliance, King Ventures, Smash House.
I noticed Crown's not on there. That's so interesting.
Joey, listen, if you wanna take it up a notch, we could definitely get on a call. We're always open for.
Usually you just say, "Hey, can Crown do this?" I say yes, and then that's it. So, all right, we'll get on the call though.
That's true. By the way, you should know if everyone watching, what makes Crown Care and Joey Katz so special is besides for the stamp sponsorships and the money and the it's also the constant giveaways. It's the unlimited amount of Nick tickets and net tickets and football tickets, and that's what makes the cash is great. It's great for the business, but that's what really ultimately it's the giveaves that get people happy that could really come
Joey,
back, and that's
what exactly is your role at that company that they just give you stuff to give away?
So no, so a lot of the tickets I've had before, and then I trade with people. I have season tickets. Me and Donnie Scheinman share. We shared Nets tickets, unfortunately, for probably 4 or 5 years at this point. But my family had it from prior, and then then I dabble in all the different ones, and I communicate with Crown, and they're like, all right, let's give it away based off of for a company, and my job is I'm in charge of marketing there, so anything to blast the name. That's what you got to do. If you need healthcare, you now know to go to Crown. I mean, you could go to, Link is a little different.
you
They do
service
different
Queens, Joey. You
territories.
service Queens. No, it's
We
fine.
serve.
Link. We're all good with Link. Link
Okay.
We're very thankful for Link. They actually started us off. We wouldn't be here, I don't think, without them. But Link is currently not an HSL sponsor right now. We're
Okay,
dealing
great.
with
So Link's
Crown,
my
and
competition.
yes. Okay. Do you service Queens?
We
Crown?
do. And if you have a referral, I'll give you my email address, send me the demographics, and I'll take care of
Home health
everything.
aides. You have home health aides?
Of course, we have home health aides. Of course.
All right. So
I can't guarantee they're the best, but of course we have them.
Oh, that's not great, Joey.
All right, Joey,
Why are you
let's
saying
get back. Let's get back to softball here.
Wait, no. I want to first send Joey's contact to this woman who reached out about home health aides. HSL, we're always
Is it
looking.
a Yid?
It's a Yid. It's a Jewish mother. We're always looking to help out our sponsors, Dave. Isn't that very important to take a pause? All right, I'm gonna send
Patient
right now. Go ahead.
identification.
Yeah, go ahead, Dave. I just found it. I'll send over Joey's contact.
All
right,
Joey. So let's get down to brass tacks. We only have 5 minutes left. You got to go. You got to make those fat stacks to keep sending to HSL. What do you think the Grasshoppers' chances are to take it all in the B League this spring?
I'll be honest. I think that we have to shape up in the fielding and the hitting a little bit. I think the hitting's coming. I think the fielding, we can have a couple errors a game. That's the name of the game in softball. But I definitely think that we can't. We have to play everybody like it's the Cobras or the Black Sox or even, I'll be honest, MS Motors. Shout out to them. When we played them and lost, I was like, we easily could beat this team. I still think we could beat them, but a lot of respect because they've gone from pretenders to contenders to me.
They have.
Who?
They have, yeah.
Who have?
MS.
Who have?
MS Motors.
Cobras?
From Brooklyn.
MS Motors?
Yeah.
You said from contenders to pretenders?
No, from
Pretenders
pretenders to contenders.
Correct. But
I definitely think that we could. I think we could make a deep run. I think it all comes down to, listen, at the end of the day, last year we beat the Robins on a rainy day. Did the weather help? Probably, but you never know the weather you're going to get and the field conditions you're going to get, and you gotta take it and play with it.
Who's the best hitter on the Grasshoppers?
Mike Reinhart.
Andy's Kitchen Grasshoppers.
Mike Reinhart, easily.
Mike Reinhart.
I ran into Mike Reinhart on the plane coming home from Florida.
I heard same row.
Yep, right across from me.
He told me at our night game. He told me.
Yeah, right across from me. Me and Sam were schmoozing it up after the plane while we were waiting for our strollers to come out.
Yeah, Mike by far, he's probably due for a big contract soon. I'm not sure if our ownership has the budget. We'll see. But he's definitely sought out. I know Rada wanted him, but he's a
Rada went after him
fellow.
This offseason?
Yeah, Rader's been after him since he took him in the night league. Many teams were after him, to be honest. But Mike wants to see the farm system grow, and he's kind of like, I'll compare it to like Brandon Nimmo of the Mets. Brandon Nimmo could have left and taken a big contract elsewhere. I know the Rockies were, when he was a free agent, but he wanted to see the fruits of labor produce.
That's right.
And that's kind of Mike Reinhart is. Actually they're both lefties, so there you go. But yeah, he wants to see the fruits of labor produce, and I definitely think that I think we could develop into I definitely think we can make a strong run. I think if we get on a streak, the league should watch out. I definitely think these are the last 3 games to bring it all together.
I think the Black Sox definitely underestimated you guys in the playoffs last year. I think we were caught sleeping a little bit.
Oh, that's the excuse? So it's not my pitching. Now it's that you were caught sleeping. Jeez.
Joey, what's your take?
I thought that was giving you props. What would be the appropriate way to say it?
We underestimated the switch made, not caught sleeping. Caught sleeping is like, oh, we walked in knowing we were going to destroy them, and we were just, we were playing from behind because we weren't taking it seriously. That's how I define caught sleeping.
That's a good point, Joey. Joey, what do you think of Cookie of Cobra Rentals? This team, they just lost MS Motors, but other than that, they've been dominating.
I think that they're the type of team very, very similar to the Robins, very similar. And if you make errors, you will lose to them. They do not make errors.
You're going to beat them 2-1 or something like that.
Correct. They might not be the best hitting team. They do not make errors, and if they make an error, the next play they turn it into as that error never existed, and you completely forget about it by the next inning. When we played them, it was 5-5, I think going into like the 7th or 8th, and then unfortunately we had a bunch of errors. We ended up losing 10-5. They're not like an overbearing team by any means, but they have the fundamentals down to a science, literally. And Gelb, very good pitcher. He doesn't do anything special. He gets the ball over the plate, has decent speed, throws strikes, doesn't walk that many guys. They're definitely, you got to beat them at their own game.
Actually, Jacob Gelb is my daddy.
Oh, really? I thought, oh no, Wasser's Avi's daddy. Right.
Wasser's my daddy.
Right. And Zamek's Gottlieb's daddy. Or
Gottlieb's Zamek's daddy. And it sounds like you are Ari Moskovich's daddy.
His Ariel's daddy.
By the way, in that 0-for-4 he took off, in that 0-for-4 Moskovich took from you. I think there was one deep shot somebody made a running catch on, right?
Yeah, there was one. Other than that, there was a couple like bloops.
Pop-ups. I remember pop-ups. Yeah, pop-ups.
Who made that running catch on Moskovich? It was a game-saving play. Because I think
Sammy Melman. Great catch.
Yeah, I have that on video. I remember
Went in and out of his glove. Great catch. But I'll be honest, at that point, it's like one of those things like, those turning points in games where one play, you're like, all right, this is our game. The minute he made that catch, I think we were all like, all right, we're not losing this game. We're not.
Yeah. All right. It's time.
So, Joey, you have 4 games left?
We have 3 games left. We're playing, I think, the Black Sox, Essen, and then I think the team that's winless.
So your next game is versus the Black Sox.
Playing Sunday.
Win or loss.
Playing Sunday.
Give me a score.
I say 6-4 Grasshoppers.
6-4 Annie's Kitchen Grasshoppers. Then against Essen, you think you destroy them?
No, I think with Essen, I think we'll win 11-6 or 11-7.
And then against Margaret, how do you say it? Because I get it.
I don't want to get censored on this, so I don't want to pronounce how you say it.
I get it. It is Margaret Tietz, right?
Yeah,
I'm getting a call on the MSL on the MSL broadcast, which we very much love and appreciate. They're giving us a lot of love last night, even though I was getting killed on the mound. Part of probably why they're giving us so much love. They were saying how they have to be very how I'm saying inappropriate words. Constantly.
Yeah, it's either Tietz or the third option, which we don't have censors on the stream, I'm assuming, so we'll have to blur out.
No, but they're saying when I say Margaret Tietz,
don't do it.
Censored. Margaret Tietz, isn't that what I say?
Yeah, no, you say Tietz, but that's also a word for the other thing. That's why people are getting a kick out of it.
It's not for a good yeshivish boy like you, Avi. It's not.
Yeah, all right.
Ellie Race was killing me on it last night.
It's been a real pleasure, Joey. Sorry we have to cut it short a little bit, but we'll see you again soon.
Oh, cool. Look at those balloons. You saw that?
All right. Awesome. Thanks again, King Ventures, Town Appliance, and Smash House. We'll be giving these out this Sunday. Looking forward.